Hello, hello. Today I came up with a unique way for you guys to make those witch hat frames so that you guys can continue your holiday Santa hats and elf hats and things like that. And I've been watching everybody going crazy trying to come up with the frame for their hats. And believe it or not, I was able to come up with something using Dollar Tree hangers. So here is the one, and here is your other frame. So you can see it's pretty much the same size. The only difference is that this part here is not turned up. But depending on how you roll your mesh and you put them up here, it's all going to fill out just like it is here. So all you're going to have to do is use a longer pipe cleaner when you add your mesh so that you can, adjust it according to around the hat. I do have two different ones that you guys will be able to make. So this one is just a straight hat if you wanted to do something like this, and this one is the curved. So I'm going to start with the simplest one first, and then you guys can do them either way you like, but they're both very, very simple, and it's going to just take you minutes to make. So all you're going to need for this project is a package of hangers. There's 8 hangers in here, and you need about 2.5 hangers to make one frame. Okay, where did I just put them? Oh, they're right here. They're blending in with all my hangers. So you're going to need 2.5 to make one. So if you bought 2 packs of hangers, you can actually make about 5 frames, which is actually cheaper than the frame itself because you're paying $1 for the witch hat. So this might be perfect for a lot of you that are selling them. So you need these hangers, and they do come in several colors. So depending on when you wrap the top part, of course your mesh here isn't really going to show through, especially like if you're doing, I've been seeing people do the fairy hats and things. So if you had a pink mesh here and you used a pink hanger, that's fine. But just be careful with the color that you choose according to the color of the mesh you're going to use. The same thing down here. They are pretty full, and this one is black, which is the original, so you really can't see it once it's completely done. And if you're looking for the video for this one, I do have my tutorial on my YouTube channel, so you guys will be able to see how I made my own, because some of you have not even been able to find the frames. So I'm hoping that today you guys can get out there and make your own. So you're going to need a glue gun. Okay, that's my little pad to hold my dripping glue, and you're going to need a pair of snips. Now Dollar Tree does sell the different snips, and you can use those. They're sharp enough. And then you're going to need some electrical tape. They usually sell it in a 2-pack at Dollar Tree, and that is what I used after I glued my frame. So you can see I'm pulling on my frame. It's really sturdy. This doesn't even move down here, so it's really sturdy. You don't have anything to worry about as far as it falling apart. They're pretty well, and some of you guys were on the live when I was in the Dollar Tree trying to find the supplies, and originally I had made one with wire because I wanted it to be a little bigger, and then after I took my measurements, this worked out perfect. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a hanger, okay, and you're going to start with your first hanger, and what you're going to do is you're going to cut from here, so the very base, to this part here. Okay, so this right here is the one side of your hat. So all you're going to do is take your snips, and these cut really easy. See how easy that's cutting? Okay, so this is right here, this part here. Okay, so look, we're almost there. Then you just cut this little thing off here. You don't have to. I cut them off. Some people cut the little black knobs off the black one. I don't, but for this one I just feel I have to. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take the other side, and you're going to cut off about right here, like cut this little hoop off. And I don't know, I always tell everybody, don't throw away your scraps, because there might come a day that you just need this hook for something, and you'll have a bunch of them available. And then again, I just cut off this little part right here. I don't know why, it bugs me, even though you're not going to see it. It's just one of those things that when I've made mine, I don't want it on there. So just cut it off. Okay, and then again, cut this off. And then you'll see that from here down, it's too long. So what you can do is you can kind of estimate where you need to cut it. Okay, so I'd say we're about right there, and if you cut it right here, you should be good. Okay, so all I did was take it from this side to this side and cut off what I didn't need. Okay, so you don't even have to measure it. You can kind of guesstimate it. Okay, And then what we're going to do is we're going to glue this together. So I'm doing the simpler one first because once we have this together, I can show you how to easily just make that little curve. Okay, so let's see if my hot glue is ready, which it's not. It'll just take a second though. It's really, really easy for it to warm up. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to take that hot glue and we're going to glue this part right here. But since we're waiting for my hot glue gun to get hot, all we're going to do is we're going to cut our second part. So what you're going to do is you're going to take another hanger, okay? And as you can see, this is this side and this is this side, okay? So what I originally did was, of course, I took the frame and I wanted to make sure my measurements were right. But a lot of you guys don't have the hat to even do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our tape measure and I'm going to give you a measurement. So if we went from the top of the hat here down, it's about 3 inches. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your, and you're going to put it on the edge here. Okay, so you have it on the edge. Okay, and all you're going to do is cut in about 3. Okay, so 3 inches. Just cut it in 3 inches and you'll be fine. Okay, so let's do that right now. So you're at the base of your thing right here and then just cut 3 inches. Okay, let me lock that in. Let me, oops, wrong side. Because this side here needs to be a little longer, but as you can hold it up, it's too long to be, okay, so we just cut that right there. And then as you can see, you can't have this full bottom because it's too big. Now some of you may want to make a bigger hat and you can figure out a way to make a bigger brim on it, but for these hats you don't have to. So what we're going to do now is we're going to hold it here, and what you're going to do is you're going to estimate your halfway point, okay? So just cut it in half. Okay? That's it. So this is one side. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing for the other side. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to glue this one here. Okay, so we have our one side done there. And then we're going to put our other one down. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to measure out 3 inches. Or you don't even have to do that. You might be able to just do it this way and cut it. So just put this one on top of this one and cut it. Okay, so now you only have this left, this and this. And then what you want to do is you want to make sure your bottom part is, let's give you a measurement. So from here all the way across is about 12 1/4. So you want each one to be like 6 3/16, but you don't have to be that exact. You can kind of just go with 6, you know what I mean? Like cut a little bit over 6 so you're not driving yourself crazy. Okay, so on this one, I actually have 6 1/2, so that's pretty close. So if that's 6 1/2, then we can cut this one just a little under, and all we have to do is line it up and just cut it a little bit less than what we currently have. Okay, so now we have this part, and what we're going to do is we're going to hot glue this piece together as well. Okay, so let's see if my hot glue gun is ready, and we're going to glue this part. Okay. So put a nice thing of glue on there, and then hold the two together. Kind of press them for a few minutes. You might want to even put them down. Put them down on a surface that it's not going to be hard to lift up, and you can tape it because it will get stuck to your surface. So don't put it on like a wood table or something where it's going to chip on you. And then we're going to do the same thing with our piece that we've been waiting for to add here. So we're going to take our hot glue gun. We're going to add some hot glue here. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing. We're just going to lay those two pieces down, and now we're going to take a little bit of our electrical tape, okay, and we're going to tape our first one. And you don't need a lot, just make it, see, it's like it's together, but you just want to make sure so when you're working on it, it doesn't come apart on you. And electrical tape is one of those tapes that you pull to make it tight, so just pull it tight as you wrap it so that it's a nice tight grip. Okay, so there we have our base already. Okay, so that's part of our hat. Then we can do this one. We're going to do the same thing on this one. We're just going to take and we're going to tape it. And we're going to pull it really tight. And some people might even want to wrap their whole hat. It's entirely up to them. If they want to do the whole thing in black just to be secure, you can, but it's not really necessary. It's not going to come apart on you, especially after you start to add all of your little embellishments and things like that, your mesh and your, it will not come apart. These hangers are really, really sturdy. Okay, and this is something everybody can find at their Dollar Tree because they have them many different colors. Okay, so we're all done there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add hot glue here and here. Now you can see my hat is a little bit off, okay? So my hat's just a wee bit off. And to even it out, I'm just going to snip off a little section on this side. So right here down, I'm just going to snip this off. So if yours are not exact, you can do the same thing. You don't have to be perfect with the tape measure. And you just measure it out, and now we have a perfect hat the way it is, okay? So we're going to do the same thing, and we're going to add some glue in here. And we're going to let it dry. Okay, so just add glue, and I'll show you guys in 1 second what I've done. Okay, so all I did was add glue here in our seam and add glue here in our seam, and what we're going to do is we're going to let that dry, and then we're going to tape it off. Okay, so I'll hold it up in 1 second to show you guys once it's done. So here's the hat. We added glue here, we added glue here. We're waiting for it to dry, and then we're going to tape it up so that it's nice and secure. We've already done this part, and we've already done this part. So, because we have this piece in here, we're going to add this piece next, and then this long piece here. It's perfect for that part that sticks out on our black frame. See this little part here? This part that bumps out, you need this extra little part in here to get your wreath nice and full. And all you have to do is take another hanger and use the bottom part of it and get a nice long piece so that you have a third row to wrap on. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our hanger again, and this is what I mean about needing more than one hanger, because when you start to cut up your hangers, you're going to see that you just don't have enough hanger here. So here's a good example. This part of the hanger from here to here, you can use it, okay? So look, if you use the part that we cut off here and the part that we cut off here, we're going to cut this, another one right here, okay? So we're going to cut this right here, and this is the part that we're going to use for our center right there, okay? And we're going to cut all this off. Oh, see, that's the only thing you got to worry about. I don't think it's long enough now. It is not long enough. So that's what you got to worry about when you're cutting these, because now this piece is not long enough to use. So the way that's snapped off, you have to have a hanger that's not going to do that to you. Okay, so I'm just going to take another hanger, and I need the bottom part of this anyway. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your frame, okay, here's your frame, and we need a piece from here to here. So all you really have to do is take your hanger, because some of you don't have a tape measure and you're looking for one. I mean, you can buy one at Dollar Tree, but it's just so much easier to just cut a piece off of here. Okay, so now we have our one piece cut off the bottom, and you hold it from one side of your hanger to the other side of your wreath right here. Can you see what I'm doing here? Okay, so we cut the one part off, and now we need to cut this part off so that it lays nicely in here. And then you just cut off that bottom part. Okay, so I have it right here. Okay, so this is what's going to go on our last piece. And if it's a little bit too big, like I just cut mine, just trim off the extra. Okay, you don't need to get exact. I mean, if you guys start asking me, well, what's the exact measurement? I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's 12 1/4, like I said, when we made this part here. Okay, so it's, 12 1/4 is about what you're going to need. But if you go a little bit bigger on this here, it's not going to be the right measurement. So you actually just need to hold it up and put it on here as far as this goes. Okay, that's all you need, is a piece from here to here to give you more stability and give you the third row for you to put your mesh on. Okay, so now that we cut up another hanger, what we're going to do is we're going to try again for our last piece. And all we're going to do is we're going to cut this part off here. Okay. So we have our hanger. See our hanger? We're cutting this part off here. We are cutting this off right here. Okay, so this is where it broke on me before, and it did it again. So that's where you got to be careful of what you're doing, okay, because it's not cooperating, but it will. Okay, so we're doing it one more time, and I'm going to cut it here. Okay, so, oh, there we go. So it broke just right. So cut under under the hanger first, because this, we're still trying to get this piece here that's long enough without using one more hanger, although I've went through quite a few. We're just trying to get this one piece here. So if you don't want to keep futzing with trying to get and not use that many hangers, I'm just trying to keep my hanger so that I have enough for frames. Okay, so we cut it right here. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to come down here. We're going to cut it right where this curve comes in, and you know you're on the right spot because you're just going to cut it right there. You're going to have something that looks like this. We're just going to trim this off again. Okay, and now what we're going to do is, see what I mean about my frame sticking to the table? It's stuck here. That's why I say use a mat or something that you can easily pick your frame up with. Okay, so we have this now. And look, the hot glue held it. So this is the part that we want to go in here. Okay? So you want to make sure that you cut enough so that it's going to glue, and then we're going to tape the whole thing. Okay? So see, we got our part there, and we have our part here. So all you're going to do is cut off this piece right here. Okay? So just cut that off, and now we have more than enough to put this on here. Okay, so now all we're going to do is we're going to hot glue this on, and guess what? We have our last long piece. Where did I put it? Here. We're going to glue both of these on just like this. Okay, so we're going to glue this one here, and then we're going to glue this one here. Okay, so this frame is pretty much done, and all we have to do is put our black electrical tape on, and this frame is done like this. And then once that's dry and we get that wrapped, I'm going to show you how easy it is for you to just switch your curve at the top. It's not hard at all. So you guys can decide what you guys want to do. Some of you may want some hats like that depending on the kind. And now we're not limited to the kind of hats we could make. So if you want to make like a cute clown hat, or if you want to make a dunce hat of some kind, or you want to do a construction hat for a kid's party. So you can do all kinds of things now because you're not limited to a frame, and you're going to have one. Okay? So we're gluing these both on. And as soon as it's hard and it's dry, we're going to wrap those with the electrical tape. And then I'm going to show you how to transform this one thing. So you might want to do this whole thing first, even if you want to do this hat here. Okay, so even if you want this little curve here, you could make the whole base of your hat, because all we're going to do is we're going to cut two pieces. We're going to cut our hat, actually three pieces. We're going to, well, you're adding a piece here is what you're doing. Okay, so we're going to cut our hat in a section here and a section here, and then we're going to add a piece between here and here. So you'll see what I mean as soon as I start cutting this up, but let's get our hat wrapped, and you'll have a few ways that you can make a hat to do whatever it is you want to do with your different holidays coming up. Okay? Okay. So we have our things in place, and all we're going to do is we're going to wrap these now. Okay, and this is again just to give you more stability. And our third row is on. Make sure it's right where you want it to be. You know, move it while it's still not dry so that you have a nice width between the two in your top row. Okay, you don't really have to do anything with that. You can just add more hot glue and be done with it, because I didn't do anything on these. I just put the hot glue on. You could see it, and it's really secure. Okay, so now we're just going to wrap this. Okay, and then we're going to do the other side. Okay. Okay. Okay, so we got that one done. And here is your first hat. And how easy was that? You guys can make these in 5 minutes. You guys can make all your hats, and then you guys can stack them up, and then you just have them as you start to work. Okay, so this is all done, and if you want to add a little bit of glue here, you can. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut our hat so that we can start to angle it for our curve. Okay, so here's our hat, and I'm going to take a measurement for you. If I can find my tape measure. And I'm going to just measure up where I cut this so that you guys kind of have an idea. So I cut it at 9 inches. So you cut on the side that doesn't have this here. So you already did this, your hat is made. Leave this side alone and come up to 9 inches. Okay, so come up to 9 inches and we're going to cut it at 9. Okay. Okay, we're going to cut it there. And then you're going to cut off your other piece on the other side. So see, we have 2 pieces of tape on the other side. And the other side, you're going to cut at about 11.5. So on this side, come down. So come to your base here. Go this way with your tape measure. Okay, so here's the tape measure. Come up to 11.5, and we're going to cut it there. So we're going to cut it at 11.5. Okay, so now you have this, and you have an odd shaped thing here. And as you can see, look what we're doing. All we're doing is cutting it so that we can make that shape we need. Okay, so I'll show you what I mean in 1 minute here. Okay, I kind of got hangers everywhere. Okay. So as you can see on the curve here, what we're going to do is we're going to cut. Let's get another measurement. So once you cut this part off, you're going to make another cut on this one. Okay, so let's figure out how much we got to cut off of this. And you're cutting this piece off here because you're going to replace it with a longer piece. Okay, so from here down is 2 inches. So you're cutting off 2 inches. Okay, so get rid of this 2-inch piece, and now you have this. Okay, see, look. You have this. Okay, and it's the same thing on this side. You need to cut off about 1 inch because you really just want this curved piece. Okay, so this is pretty even, and from the top of this, it comes down to 3 inches. Okay, so that's the little curve we need for right here. Okay, so here's the hat I did. And this is what you want to do. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take a piece and we're going to cut it from here to here so that we can angle it and give you that little look here. So from here to here down, this longer piece that we need, from here down, is 3.5 inches. Okay? So please pay attention to what I'm saying, because I won't have time to answer all these questions. So 3.5 inches, okay? So here is where our mark comes in. Let's see if it's 3.5. Might be 4. Maybe you can go an even 4. You could go an even 4. So 4 inches from here to here. 4 inches. Okay, so take a part of your hanger. Okay, so here's one of our extra hangers. Cut off that little tab. Okay. And this one you're going to want to lay down when you glue so that you have the right curve and give it the time to dry. Okay, so now we're going to take our hanger and we're going to come down 4 inches. Okay, so if some of you want to estimate this, it's entirely up to you. And remember, once you have one made, you can easily just duplicate it from the one that you have made. You just keep laying it on top of each other so you don't have to keep going through all this. Okay, so now you have this and you have this. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're just simply going to, I'll show you in 1 second. Okay, you're going to lay your hanger down, and then you're going to take the one part and you're going to angle it to your curve. Okay, see that's curved. And then you're going to take this one and you're going to do the same thing, and you're going to let those two dry. Okay, because you're going to have this piece right here that all you're going to do is you're going to push it out, and then it's all going to kind of join together. So we're going to add hot glue on this part here first. Okay, and I'll show you when I'm done. And then we're going to take and we're going to add some hot glue to this part here. And I promise you, I've already done one, so I know it's going to work. You just kind of got to believe and have the faith that it's all going to come together, which it will, okay, because I've already made one. And you're just going to let that dry. Just let the glue dry. And again, it's going to stick to your table because we put a lot of glue on. And Dollar Tree does sell these plastic mats that are kind of nice that you can work on. And I would highly recommend getting them, especially if you're working on different tables. So let's give that just a second to dry. And here is that hanger again, okay, just so you can see. So we cut it here, and we had this nice little even part, okay? So remember that. This part here, you don't have to do anything else to. And all you're doing is you're cutting a piece that's from here to here, 4 inches. And we're going to add that inside our hat to give us the little curve we need so our little pom-pom hangs off of it, okay? So if you decide that you don't want to do that and you just want to leave it like this, that's entirely up to you. But make your frame first like this, and then again, just do what you have to do. And if you hold the two together, you'll see this hanger is just a little bit wider than this one because this is giving that bump out, okay? So here's the one that's got the curve, here's the one that doesn't, and you can see by putting them together that there's just a little bit of bump there, and then you're just making your curve. Okay, so let's see how we're doing, and I'm going to tape these two together, and then we're going to add our last little piece. Now, if our last little piece is not exact, then we can always cut it again. Okay, we can always just trim it up a little bit. Don't make a big deal out of something so small because it will work. Okay, some of you might have a little bit more difficulty giving it a shot and trying, but don't give up. It will work. Okay, don't give up. And that curve is going to depend on, you know, the way you bend it when we have it glued together. Okay, so I'm going to hold it up in 1 second because I'm going to show you. See how I'm just taping the two pieces that we just had? Okay. Okay. So that was our top piece, and look at it, lines up perfect. Okay, so this piece from here to here is 4 inches, and guess what? All we have left to do is glue this and tape it, and there's your frame. Okay, so then you're all done, and you can make your witch hats in 2 different ways. You have a lot of different options. You could make different frames. You could make smaller frames. How cute would it be to make your base here just a little bit smaller? You know, so you would bring this together more in the center, and you can bring this down, and you can make cute little elf hats and things like that. So if I make a cute little elf hat, I most certainly will show you because I saw the little legs coming out, and it would be really cute on a smaller frame. So we'll be doing that soon, and look, we're almost done. You can make a bunch of these up. You're not limited to what you can do, and all you need is hangers and electrical tape from Dollar Tree, and of course a good glue gun. Okay, so let's get this part done. Okay, so it's still not really completely dry. I'm just going to press it together. I'm going to tape it so that we can get a move on here and you guys can get to Dollar Tree. And won't it be something when everybody runs out of hangers from Dollar Tree now? But at least you know you can go to Dollar General, you can go to Family Dollar, you can go pretty much anywhere and get hangers. So here is your second hat with your little part that you can use. And you have 2 hats, and let's see. I mean, look at this one is just a little bit bigger, okay? It is just a little, well, not really. It's actually kind of the same size. It's not that much different, okay? So now you have your 2 hats, and you have this one that you can make, and I hope that this helps all of you out. My intentions are really, really good with my videos. I know some people, I'm sorry, but you guys hurt my feelings. I mean, I'm trying to do the best that I can, so please be nice to me. Kindness goes a long, long way in the world, and there's no reason to be rude. So I hope that this does help a lot of you, and have fun. Keep posting those hats. You guys do a beautiful, beautiful job, and I'm so happy that so many of you are selling them. So good luck to all of you, and I will see you on the next video in a few days to do our Grinch. Bye now.